This Once Human guide is all about the things that you can and should do on your first week on a brand new fresh server. This will cover Phase 1, things that you should do so that you're ready for Phase 2, things that you should do so you'll be level 50, all of that stuff. Let's get into it. Now, if you're brand new to the game, I have a guide just for you that covers the first 2 hours of the game, everything you should do and how you should learn the game. It looks just like this. Once Human, the best possible start for new players, best progress route, early weapons and gear, looks just like this, so go check that out. But with that said, I do expect you to know very basics of the game, like how quest progression works and how gear upgrades work. So let's start from there. You're in Tier 3. You have the Tier 3 zone unlocked. You haven't defeated the spider boss yet. You've defeated the tree boss, though. That's where we're starting this guide. Step 1 is to simply complete the main story quest up until the Realm of Nightmares part. Now, this is where it wants you to go to the monolith and defeat the spider boss. At this point, we're going to be doing everything else to get you ready for that, but also to get ready for Phase 2. That's the whole point of Phase 1. Step 2 is you're going to set up an optimal iron farming base. Now, this teleport tower right here is our optimal spot. This is in between Holt Town and Highland, and for reference, the Greywater Camp, our teleport tower that we want to go to, is southwest of Greywater Camp. So we're going to teleport here, and this place has lots of flat land. It has everything that you're going to need to craft all of your upgrade benches, all of your electric stoves, and you will need a lot of electric stoves. Trust me on this one. So once you've appeared here at the teleport tower, this entire area, it's got fuel, it's got boars for rawhide and meat, it's got iron, it's got lots and lots of silver. I mean, just driving around, I should be able to find some silver, but it's got the boars, it's got tin, it's got bronze, or not bronze, but copper. So there is tons and tons and tons of stuff here. It's very flat. There's a very huge amount of it. You can just drive around on the left side of the road here, just going southeast. It's got sulfur, which not really the best place to farm sulfur. That's a little bit later down the line. I'll talk about that later in the video. It's got regular stone and plenty of just lots and lots of areas to farm. So out of all the places, because you're going to need rawhide for multiple pickaxes, you're going to need all of the stuff here. It's even got grapevine bushes for just some basic food if you don't feel like cooking. So this area right here is optimal for your base for now. We're going to be moving the base around though. The next step is completely optional, but now that you have a base here, you can also farm Digby Boys by harvesting silver. I'm going to show you just a quick run. This is how I do it. As soon as I switch worlds, I pop out motorcycle or a car. I go directly north, but not on this left side here because there is a small cliff and I don't want to crash the car. But what I do is I drive north to the second road. I check this iron node in front, these two tin nodes. These I basically check all the nodes on my left here, and I'm just looking for silver, and you will almost always find silver on one of these runs, and all you have to do is keep switching worlds. So I'm looking to the left here for silver. Still no silver, but we have a whole nother area to check, and you're going to find so much silver with this method. It is insane, and that is not silver, but it did look like it a little bit. So I come up here, I check around this bend, and then I swoop around this way, check those three. And you'll know it's silver because they won't be like the other ones, okay? They'll be sticking out. Go ahead and check around here. And if you're wondering, why am I checking for silver? Silver has a higher % chance to find Digby Boys than mining tin. So, unfortunately, this run did not have any silver. So, I'm just going to go ahead and go back to the teleport thing here. Hop out, swap worlds once again. And on average of 15 worlds, I can find at least 200 to 300 ores worth of silver, and it only takes a few minutes. It's a real simple joyride. The only downside is that it does burn gas, but gas is incredibly easy and simple to get, and that is a deviated corn stalk, so I'm obviously going to grab that. That's super good. Yeah, we definitely like to see those, and you'll find lots of deviated like crops doing this run as well. And so here we go. That is that. I don't think is that silver. Yeah, that might be silver. Also, boars, just kill them, whatever. So yeah, here we go. Boom, silver ore. And you just do this run over and over and over, and you will acquire so many Digby Boys. Now, the alternative method to getting Digby Boys is you make an alt account, you rush the main story quest to where you get one for free from the quest giver in the first town, and the very first time any character hits a 10 node, they will receive a free Digby Boy. And then you would just mule the Digby Boys to your main account by adding your alt accounts to your friends list and dumping them in your deviant cages. Also, that is another silver node, so that's 2 silver nodes. Also more boars. Go ahead and just kill these. Such an invasive species, right? So there we go. And that's the silver farm. The reason why you'd want to get Digby Boys early is because they will pay dividends later. If you have 10, 20, 40 Digby Boys, especially when you go into phase 2, you don't even have to drill for ores. You can just have them do everything, and every hour, you're going to have several thousand ingots worth of raw ore to process. It's insane. But it does take a little bit of footwork. You just have to do the grind, but you have a whole week until phase 2. Step 3 is to run Securement Silo PHI, and you want to run this every time that the materials have returned. So, north of our teleportation tower, oh, dig to hell, cool. So, north of our teleportation tower is Securement Silo PHI. It is literally northwest of Greywater Camp. It's super close. There's a few reasons why you want to run this. You want to run this for all the scrap and all the plastics and all the supplies, but once you've cleared out and looted everything, you can't loot it again for a while. I don't know exactly how long, so you'll have to check in every once in a while to see if it's lootable again. If you have alt accounts, they can also loot it, and you can pull the resources to your main, but that's a little much. I don't like doing that, honestly. You don't need to do that, honestly, because a lot of these materials become useless in phase 2 anyway. So, another reason why you want to run Securement Silo PHI, and when you kill bosses, use your controllers, because you're going to want a certain armor mod, and I'll show you. It's on your shoes. And this armor mod is almost best in slot for everyone, especially phase 1. It's called Ruthless Reaper. And what it does after you kill 2 enemies, it used to be bugged to be 3 enemies. It gives you 80% of your magazine's weapon back. So, as long as you're not a pistol user or a sniper rifle user, this is going to be best in slot for you for, well, all of phase 1. And for my build, it's still best in slot for the rest of the game. So, definitely farm these. Now, unfortunately, just running the silo is not enough supplies, but I have another spot for you, and that's called Secret Harbor. All the way to the east on the map, where this big thing of water is, there is a place called Secret Harbor. Now, this place is awesome because this allows you to double dip. This place is super compact. It has all the supplies really close to each other. You can farm this thing in under a minute for supplies, for Viridium crystals, plastics, and scrap metals. But also, right here in the middle of the base, just west, just a few feet away from this entire area, is a bunker. It's not marked on your map, it's a secret bunker. And inside that bunker is even more supplies. And so you're double dipping by running this zone. It's super close to the teleportation tower. Now again, these don't regenerate. You have to wait a while to be able to loot them again. But just running the silo and just running this one time is enough to fully upgrade all of your weapons and armor. I'm not joking. Now, this part is completely optional, but if you don't want to spend Starcrom and you want to save all of it for Phase 2, which is what I like to do because it's just more optimal spending. Phase 1, there's nothing really to buy with Starcrom unless you're just buying straight up, and that's a bad gamble. I've made an entire video about odds and probability, and for certain builds, especially currently in Season 1, burn builds and shrapnel builds are cheaper if you gamble them on the Wish Machine. I made a whole video about it. I'm not going to bother showing you. Just search my channel. And anyway, so just an optional thing here. Weapons without Starcrom. So the Cam Pioneer is a shrapnel-based weapon, which you get the blueprints for by just doing the main story, right? And let me hide the text here so you can see the full name of the weapon, the Cam Pioneer. And you get the blueprints for this weapon by just doing the story. And that's basically it. And there's a few things that you can loot. I'll show you later in this video that you can loot, and you can upgrade this to a 4-star weapon. And this thing is statistically nearly as good as the legendary version, just slightly less if you're stacking crit % rate, which you might or might not even be doing. But Phase 1, you can't do that anyway, so this is technically shrapnel best in slot until then. Now, another thing, too, is you want to get a key item. Now, for those that don't know, if you see an armor piece with this weird rainbow glittery light thingy on it, that is called a key item. you're only allowed to wear one key item per armor set. So if I try to put on some pants, I don't have any, but if I had pants with like that rainbowy stuff on it, it wouldn't let me wear that with the helmet. I'm only allowed to wear one rainbowy, glowing, you know, shiny item. For whatever reason, that's just how the game works. But the beret is super simple and easy to get because it gives you extra shrapnel hit parts. It's just better than anything else you can wear early on. And for a shrapnel build, it is, well, best in slot, according to basically everyone, saying it even outperforms in DPS tests from the legendary helmets. I have yet to confirm that, but I will trust. I will later then verify when I can. In order to get this helmet, all you have to do is go down and run the silo, which, hold on, I'm way off base here. Okay. So you go down here to Securement Silo Sigma, and once you get a key card, there is a door that you open with the key card, and you'll go into like a toy house area, and you'll have to like stand in a circle and defend that circle for a minute or two. Once you do that, there's a quest giver right outside the door, the TV head guy named T-Man, and you turn in that quest. He will give you the full blueprint for the beret, or Barrett, or however it's pronounced. I don't know. Let me know in the comments how it's pronounced. This is also optional. You can skip this if you want to save materials, because we will be getting the agent set a little while later. But if you're just getting beat up and killed and bullied in PvP, and you absolutely just aren't winning against enemies, then feel free to craft these tier 3. You can easily farm the materials. You have all week to get the materials. It is absolutely fine if you skip this step. Now, this one is also optional, but I highly recommend it, and this gets you a burn damage sniper rifle that fires very quickly. It's very powerful. You're going to want this for the spider boss. It's also free. So what you do is you go to the level 20 monolith. Where is that at? That is the monolith degree. That's not what we want. And so let's see, where's that level 20? So the Gaia Cliff monolith down here in the southwest. It is actually northwest of Myers Market. We're going to take that teleport tower. I'm going to show you where to get this. It's one chest you loot, and then you can craft this bad boy. It is a free sniper rifle. It's a good sniper rifle. You absolutely want this bad boy. And all you do, as soon as you load in from the teleport tower, face northwest, and then all you got to do is on this roof right here, which it hasn't loaded in, there is a chest. I've already looted it, but you just glide down to this chest. This is the easiest weapon to get in the whole game, and it's so powerful. This thing smokes the Trent boss if you're still stuck on that. And this chest right here will give you the Crumble Sniper Rifle. Let me show you what exactly this sniper rifle does. So you can see here that it's just a 60% chance to trigger burn with a weak spot hit. If you're shooting enemies in the weak spot, the glowy part's the head, and it increases your burn damage. Now, we're not a burn build. We're not going to gear for burn builds. But unlike the other snipers available early game in Phase 1, this one is semi-automatic. So boom, boom, boom. You don't have to set here. And you can shoot this 8 times. It's going to deal tremendous damage. It's going to clear those spider eggs later on. Now, we're not going to use this in Phase 2. This is purely just something to use in Phase 1. You can upgrade this if you want or don't. It's up to you. Now, the next step is obviously to craft a whole bunch of ammo from gunpowder, farmed from the silos you've been doing, and the secret harbor, and that secret bunker that I showed you earlier. The reason I had you do those first and foremost is not only for upgrades, but the enemies in those areas also drop lots of gunpowder, which is, you do not want to be crafting gunpowder ever in this game. What is it? Acid and sulfur are too important to waste on gunpowder. If the enemies drop gunpowder, you should just kill them for gunpowder. It's way more efficient. You have to kill them anyway and clear those areas for supplies, and they're the most optimal places to get the most supplies per hour, and so I'm just optimizing your gameplay here. Now, you're going to be repeating these steps until all of your gear is tier 3 and max calibrated. This takes like a few hours of gameplay time, bros. It is super quick and easy. And the reason we're max calibrating it, yes, it does cost some resources, especially it costs the Stardust sources, but you're going to get most of this back when you salvage it, but most importantly, your tier 3 gear that you're maxing now is going to allow you to just plow through tier 4 completely in Phase 2 and skip straight to tier 5. So you don't have to waste any crafting time or materials or anything. And I guess this guy came to get the sniper, Mr. Basket here. So you absolutely, yes, it costs some materials and it costs some Stardust source. That's fine. That's easily farmable. I'm going to teach you later in the video how to farm Stardust Source, where you'll have an infinite amount. Like, I've only grinded a few hours. I'm nearly at 2,000. It is super quick and easy to get. You just got to know where to go. And I'm going to help you with that. You don't need any special recipes or mimetics. You can just kill mobs and get them. I'm going to show you later. Actually, I'll just show you right now because that was the next thing on my list. I'm reading from a script, kind of, sort of. So, I'm going to teach you how to farm cortexes as optimal as possible in Phase 1. I'm going to show you how to get the Buzzy Bee, because you're going to want this if you grow crops for Phase 2. You need Buzzy Bees to make your crops deviated, or a higher % chance to be deviated. Stardust Source, which is everyone's complaint when upgrading gear, is this stuff right here. This stuff is easy to get. Don't be afraid to spend it. It's also an XP farm, a grenaded C4 gunpowder farm, and some other stuff, so let's go. Now, I'm recording this in Phase 2, because it just turned Phase 2 today. I'm a little late on my recording, so this won't be here. If you're in Phase 1, this thing here won't exist. But you can still come here and farm this stuff. So this teleport tower here, it is right next to what's called Winding Ridge Farmland. And you can find it southeast of Greywater Camp, okay? So we're going to go ahead and teleport here, and yes, I have to show you the entire route because there's always someone in the comments that doesn't know where to find it, or they're having trouble, so I'm going to hold your hand the entire way. Once you've teleported to the tower, we're going to walk southwest, and it's really close. It's just a small little jaunt away. Really takes no time at all to get there. It's going to pop out a car, and then we're just going to drive right into it. So this area has 3 humanoid bosses that are very quick and easy to kill. They're not too difficult. I use the Festering Gel because early on they're going to chunk your health. But essentially, just follow my route. I'm going to run through the cornfield. This is the first boss, is this Rosetta Mechanic. So we're just going to pop him. And there we go, 1 full mag. So we're going to loot him. That's going to give us access cards, cortexes, smoke bombs, gunpowder, energy links. And if I was a lower level, it would give me more XP. Then we're going to run to this red barn, and inside is another purple-eyed Rosetta Mechanic. I'm going to pop, some some stuff here. And we're just going to gun him down, loot him. There we go. Another Cortex, access cards, Molotov cocktails. And these guys can drop all sorts of things. They can drop refinery cards, too. And then I'm going to run over here south, and there's a guy with a shield. I'm just going to pop him in the head a bunch. There we go. And then he's got the same loot. Stardust Source, there it is, Cortexes. And these guys will absolutely drop more Stardust Source if you are lower leveled as well. From here, I'm just going to drive northeast back to that teleport tower. I'm going to change worlds, and I'm going to rinse and repeat this. Now, in that cornfield, that's where the Buzzy Bee is, and that's a deviant you'll need if you want to grow deviated crops. But yeah, you just run this farm route over and over and over. Like, in an earlier level, you'll get 500 XP per boss kill. At a higher level, I think it's like 100 something. So it does have diminishing returns, but you can farm your entire week's worth of level 2 cortexes in just 20 minutes of doing this. Now, what you also need to do for the remainder of the week is acquire Starcrom. This is very important. So, let's go over all the ways that you'll be acquiring Starcrom. So, first off, you push escape, you click the scenario at the top, and then you click the season goals, then you click the first phase reward, and you just complete these challenges. Once you've completed enough, you claim these on the left, and that is 2,000 Starcrom. The next thing to do is you push J, you go to Journey, and you do all of these. I haven't bothered to do these. They're piddly little amounts, like doing the entire thing of warbands is 50, that's 50, 50, 50, etc. So the only thing you can't do in Phase 1 is Brewer. Brewer is not unlocked in Phase 1, but you can complete all of these other ones if you just work towards them. I honestly haven't bothered because, like, make a bed, sleep in a bed, boom, done. This one doesn't even reward Starcrom anyway, but, like, chef, make any dish in the stove, which I've done, but you have to make it on a regular stove. I went straight to electric stove, but that's 25 Starcrom. You want to do all of these eventually. Next up, all you got to do is you're going to go ahead and push escape, go to Stardust Advent, that's this button right here. And you're going to make sure that you claim everything under the free battle pass. So you can see here that this is worth about, I think, is it 3,000? Let's see how much this is. Let's see, 1,000, no, 2,000. And you get these from leveling up. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 starchrom right there. And I'm going to teach you later on. Well, I actually have a video on how to level up quickly. I'll just reference that. Okay, so I haven't actually, like, I've made the video, but I haven't published it yet. It's going to be on my channel. Just search my channel. Just look through my videos, bros. I have a playlist and everything. The next thing to do from this menu is you're going to click events at the top here. You can click event, and you can claim all of this stuff. It might or might not have starchrom depending on the date that you do it. Other than that, there is, you go to regular event here, and then you can bind your Discord. I have not done this, but this is 500 starchrom. You can go to community rewards. For whatever reason, YouTube and TikTok does not work, but if you go to Facebook, you click proceed, or you click, you know, to follow it. It won't force you to follow it for whatever reason, but you can still claim the rewards. Same with Twitter and Instagram. Like, I don't have any of this stuff. I can still claim the rewards even without these social medias, right? So that's just free starchrom right there. Next up, in this same menu, click Global Event, and then down here, click Claim. That's another 1,000 from a crate. You'll have to open your inventory to open this crate, though. Also, depending on your character level, down here, there will be a survey that you can do, and you will get 3 of these as you level. 1 as soon as you start the game, 1 around level 30-ish, and when you hit level 50, you'll have your final survey. Right now, my character is only level 45. Now, when doing the survey, you have to actually read it and do it, because there's a question that's like, please rate 2 stars. And if you don't rate that exact question 2 stars, you will be ineligible for the reward. Next up, another source of starchrom is you're going to open your mimetic menu here, and then you're going to learn the wish machine, which is right here under logistics, the third one. You go down to wish machine. As soon as you learn this, a wish machine will appear in the first town. So you go to the first town, which is called Deadsville, and then just, I think it's like literally, it's like right outside the town gates. I think it's like southeast or north. I'm pretty sure it's southeast, right outside the town gates. There's a wish machine, and all the guards are yapping. They're like, oh, what is this machine? So what you want to do with the wish machine is you want to do the wish machine quests. However, the wish machine lies to you. It says that if you completely loot the epic recipe in the first, like, bracket of the games that it has you play, that it will reward you with 800 starchrom. It will not. It leads you to the second part of the quest, which that will reward you 800 starchrom. So what you can do is do the quest up to the point where it wants you to receive the rare recipe, and then just leave it hanging forever and never do that, if you want the starchrom. But for me, you know, I'm running a shrapnel build. I like the blueprints, so spending 100 starchrom on blueprints is a really good deal. It'll just put you under 8,000 in the early game if you're wanting to rush a legendary weapon. So if you do want that legendary weapon 8,000 early game, do not fully complete the quest. But if you've done everything else I've shown you so far, you'll have 8,000 to spend. Now, if you've done the wish machine, you will have at this point, and if you've completed up to the main story quest where you're waiting to kill the spider, you will be able to 3-star your cam pioneer. Now, the one I'm wearing is a 4-star cam pioneer. I'm holding a 1-star in my inventory. I'm going to show you the DPS difference. So first off, let me show you the DPS with this 1-star pioneer, which is fully calibrated. It's got the mod in it. Everything is basically essentially the same. Let's go ahead and switch to that, and I actually need to equip the ammo. Oh boy. Accessory and ammo, and equip the ammo. There we go. Alright, so we're going to just do point-blank chest shots for the DPS, okay? You guys ready? So this is the DPS that I'm doing with a 1-star cam. That's 1 full mag. You can see there, 15,829 damage. And now we have the 4-star cam pioneer, and yes, this one does have accessories. These do not increase or decrease the damage at all. It helps for everything else for range and stuff, but as far as DPS goes, we are purely doing this based on the damage. So this is with the 4-star, and you'll see the difference. So there we go. We did about 2,000 more damage per clip. It's not bad. The DPS is much higher, so it's really up to you if you want to 4-star this thing or not. I recommend you do it. It's super easy to do. Now, granted, mathematically, this was a 13.3% increase in damage. And so, over time, that just really adds up, especially in boss fights. I recommend you do it. And here's how to do it. So, if you've done the wish machine and the main story quest, you will be at 3 stars. You're going to need just a little bit more blueprints to break down in order to push it to 4 stars. Here's where to go. So the first location is going to be very close to Deadsville. Just north is the Rotten Manor. This is a really big mansion, and all you have to do is go to the top of the manor, inside of it, not on the roof, but like on the top floor, and there's a chest. You loot the chest, you're going to get blueprints for a, it's like a revolver pistol. The second place that you're going to go is all the way down. This is south of Myers Market, and you're going to go to these docks, and there's going to be a boat, and inside the middle of the boat is blueprints for a wrench. Once you have those blueprints, you just open your blueprints menu. You find your, what's it called? The Cam Pioneer, you right-click it, and then what you'll do is you'll have blueprints locked. You click here, see here's the wrench, and then you would add the wrench and the revolver to this Cam Pioneer, and that will make it 4 stars. So, I guess this is step 12, I've lost count, but essentially you're going to continue running silos or bosses depending on what your build is and what you need for your build, and you're going to continue to get weapon mods with the correct rolls on them. Now, because it's Phase 1, you can't do hard modes yet, which means you can't get legendary mods, so don't overspend, but you do want to come into Phase 2 with epics. Now, at this point, you could Google around and look for things like, oh, I want the whole agent set, which is what I did. I'm going to tell you right now, this agent set sucks. It is not better than having the rustic and the test subject set, especially because it lowers your maximum HP. With the starter set, I have like way more health, and like the agent set here, it doesn't do what it says it does. Head damage reduction, who cares? Right? Like it doesn't matter this early on. Weak spot damage, it's barely a jump right now. Bullet Saver doesn't actually work. It's busted, and then the increased reload speed by 20%. Well, 20% of 2.5 seconds is still more than 2 seconds for a reload time. It's pointless. This set sucks. I was going to cover how to get it, but there's no point. But here it is in text form. You can pause the video and look at this if you want. So yeah, if you want the agent set, just pause. I'm going to scroll. This is the locations, the coordinates, and where the things are. I'm not gonna waste video footage showing you this because the armor set doesn't work and it sucks. Now, at this point, it's time to start leveling up, and you're going to be, like, maybe mid to high 30s at this point. And in order to push 50, you're just going to use stoves and have a salt farm. So you're going to have a base or some alt bases near seawater. You're going to scoop up the seawater and then cook salt on the stove. And every single successful stack of salt is going to give you around 89 XP each. And so the more stoves you have and the more salt that you're cooking, the better off you'll be. Now, unfortunately, because it's Phase 2, my friend here has already moved his salt operations, you know, to the higher tier zones, so we can start getting gold and, you know, do drilling for tungsten and all that stuff. But, yeah, I have a whole video that explains the optimal different ways to level if you don't want to do salt or if salt gets nerfed. I have a video just in case that uses blueberries. I have a video. The same video explains how to mob grind or craft other things. And you don't have to push level 50 before Phase 2. It's just really helpful if you do. Now, I've only been playing on this server for 1 day, and I joined a server late. And I'm already level 45 in a single day of doing this. Not like a full Sweat Lord day either. This method is nearly completely AFK. Just please search my channel, check it out. Almost everyone, other YouTubers out there have also talked about salt farming for experience points as well. So it's a very well-known method. Also, if you want optimal weapon accessories, here it is for the Cam Pioneer. Just extra info, in case you want to use it and save your Starcom like I do. And I make guides for myself, so I definitely want to have this info for my future self. Alright, so there you go. You can pause the video if you need anything. And, yeah, pretty simple stuff to get. Very easy to get. Next up, you'll want to plan out your build for the season. Now, what I basically have done is I have a little text document here that has everything planned. So I'm just going to show you. It's going to be a little hard to see for you guys. But here's what it looks like, and I have, you know, weapon mods. So this is Phase 2, Silo PHA, the Ruthless Reaper thing that I talked about earlier. This is farmable now, but I want to do it for hard mode for Legendary. Again, Phase 2, that's Silo Sigma hard mode for the weak spot damage boost gloves. Because I'm doing a weak spot damage shrapnel build. That's my plan for this season, for this character at least. It's not the strongest for Phase 1. Burn builds are the strongest for Phase 1. Alright, and then, you know, where to farm. I also have weapons and armor. My alt weapon, phase 2, where to get it. The long axe, this is where I get my long axe. I can get this in phase 1. The deviant, I need to figure out where to farm the butterfly, the higher level ones, the barrette. I went agent set and renegade set. I also did the math on the wish machine. So caged prisoner with the wish machine has the chest, boots, and glove at 20% per roll. So I should not buy those for, well, it's 3k each. I put 8k, so that's a mistake there. I'll fix that. There you go. So now things to farm while we wait for phase 2 to drop would be silver. I've already explained to you the silver area. You go to this teleport tower and you do this run and you'll get a bunch of Digby boys in silver. The next one is the rainbow star something ores. Now right here at Rippleby, if you go north, just very slightly north of Rippleby, this little area right here has the most rainbowy, starchromish nodes to mine. My favorite route for fuel is you start up here at this teleportation tower and you go south along the road, but when the roads diverge, you take the dirt road and you follow the dirt road down. You then stop and clear Secret Harbor and the bunker, which I talked about earlier in this video, because these things will almost always drop 1 to 2 refinery cards. You continue down the dirt roads all the way down, you'll hit a main road, hit the dirt road again, until you reach the Rippleby Market Workshop, which you can then use the production facility to do those cards. And this is about 200 to 300 fuel per run manually. You just loot all the trunks of each car, and you're good to go there. Next up would be peppercorn, because you want peppercorn to craft the acid farming food, which are in bunkers. So the Secret Harbor, you go to that bunker, you farm that. If you want to farm the tier 2 bunker, it will have peppercorn. It's just kind of out of the way to farm, and that is, it's near one of the silos. It's really close to Securement Silo Sigma. It's really close to this abandoned hideout. There's a silo here, or I'm sorry, there's a bunker here that you do in the main story quest where you fight the tree monster's shadow form. So you should know where that's at. You've been there before if you've completed main story quest. Other than that, you could run around and get all of the rift anchors if you just want supplies, and all of the teleports, of course, if you want. And that's essentially it, because, like, you know, if you want to be ready for phase 2, there's not a lot to do other than hit level 50, which I didn't do. I wanted to see if I could do it in a day, okay? I joined the server one day before phase 2, and I got to 45. Not even sweatlording, just playing casually. I think I played like 6 hours in total. So yeah, it's not that hard, right? And I did a lot of experimenting with crop growing, which I found to be inefficient and pointless for phase 1. I got like about 10 Digby boys farmed. Not a whole lot for 6 hours of playtime. I got a little unlucky, I think. But, you know, I find 1 to 2 per hour, and you get 2 from just the, again, main story quest, or side quest, and then the first time you hit a 10 ore. Having lots of Digbies really helps, so that's something you should do. Anyway, that's the Phase 1 guide. I hope you guys appreciated it. Let me know if you have any questions. I read every comment. I have no life, no social life, no friends. So, yeah, there you go. And with that said, let's throw some blobs as far away as possible here. Why not? Whee! Look at it go. And finally, leave a like on the vid and click the video on the right side of your screen if you don't. The next time you wake up, which is, I don't know if you're a morning or night person, but the next time you wake up, your mouth will be a little bit more dry than normal.